Today we're going to make tasty hot cross buns at home instead of having to go to the bakery. I will post the recipe in the description box. At this point what I've done is I have put all the ingredients into the bread machine. My bread machine does a 20-minute warming up before it starts mixing. So what I did was I actually set the bread machine, told it to go, and then at about 18 or 19 minutes I put the ingredients in, like the pan in, because this one has melted butter in it. And the melted butter doesn't particularly like to sit for 20 minutes to get hard again before you start mixing it. If you let it get hard again, then you'd be mixing in hard lumps of butter. That wouldn't be so good. So I just dumped it out here of the bread machine pan because it did its mix, and there it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this into, they say 18 to 24, I usually do 24. And we're going to put it in this 9 by 13 baking pan, and we leave about a ½ inch between the balls to give them a little space to rise. So I just poured a little oil in here, and I'm going to use a paper towel and just smear it around. I'm not using baking spray because it needs to be lightly, very lightly oiled, and this gives me a little more control over how much oil there is on the edges. So I'm just going to take a steak knife and I'm going to section this out into, I just divide it in two. And just put a tiny bit of flour on the table to stop it from sticking. And then each one of these will be split into a dozen, just like two at a time. So then we just roll the balls to a fairly round shape and plop them in. I don't put raisins in mine, although you certainly could if you liked raisins, because people in my family don't like raisins. We're going to let them rise once we've got them all cut and split for an hour. So once I've got them all kind of rolled and put into the pan, like so, then I'm going to cover them with a lint-free tea towel, and I'm going to turn the oven on and set them near the exhaust so that they're warm, and leave them for an hour. Okay, so there's our buns. Now that they've risen, we're going to throw them in the oven at 375 for 12 to 15 minutes, and then we're going to take them out. In the instructions, they tell you to split the cross in the top. I don't bother. I'm not going to glaze these either because I like to put them in the toaster, so glaze just makes a royal mess in the toaster, so I just do them straight like this. So 12 to 15 minutes, and we'll be back. Took 14 minutes in the oven. I'm going to dump them out of here and onto a cooling tray in a minute or two and let them get cool. And there they are, out of the pan, cooling off. They are pretty darn tasty. I've made these ones a couple of times before, and really simple. And it means that you don't have to wait for Easter to have hot cross buns. And there's what they look like cut open. They've got some decent spices in them and some little bits of candied fruit. So they're pretty tasty. I'm going to throw one in the toaster here in a bit. And there we go once they're toasted. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel where we have done lots of cooking stuff, and hopefully one day it'll be spring and we'll be able to do outside stuff. Have a great day.